Good morning. It's Ginny and Tim from the beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan in Escanaba at DS Tech. We're going to talk about the Eclipse of Trust.
Yes.
I mean, it's in the news. Everybody's talking about the eclipse.
Yeah.
And how all the pictures are out there. And
yeah.
So we thought we would visit the Eclipse of Trust. Is it anything similar to Zero Trust?
Kind of like you want to zero trust your emails. Basically, we're going into this talking about phishing and how we can make it a phishing analogy to the Eclipse. So it'll be kind of a fun little episode because, in my opinion,
maybe you'll remember what to do then.
Maybe it may help you
with the analogy, right?
For sure. Because the biggest thing, in my opinion, and when it comes to the security space, the top two things that causes loss in a business right now is still number one is ransomware, and number two is business email compromise, meaning someone gets in your email and starts sending messages to your, other vendors that you're working with and convinces them to do bad things. But both of those typically start with phishing emails. So even though they say ransomware is the number one thing causing businesses to, it usually starts with a phishing email or something like that. So
I think I read that like 90% starts with something like that.
It's up there. Even if it's 50% start with a phishing email, if you can get people to just be vigilant and
not
watch those links or email texts.
Okay, so if you don't even watch the rest of the video, don't click the link.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just don't click the link. Always verify.
Always.
So basically, we're going to talk about, obviously a solar eclipse is, it talks about, the awe and the beauty of a solar eclipse. It's once in all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a fascinating event that draws everyone's attention, similar to kind of the internet was this thing that was created. Everyone's attention's on the internet, connected, it changed our lives a little bit here and all that kind of stuff. However, phishing scams, people are out there, you're trying to, bad people are going to do bad things, and try to take advantage. So basically, the first part of the eclipse is kind of the partial phase, right? So just as the moon just starts covering the sun, creating a little bit of a noticeable change in the sky, phishing kind of starts the same, right? They usually have some sort of email that kind of grabs your attention. It could be like, too good to be true, a discount here, scan this QR code to take our survey, get $400, some sort of crazy thing like that. So it's kind of an initial message to kind of get your attention. It's kind of like the beginning part of an eclipse. So you want to, just make sure that you're looking for that kind of stuff in your emails. If it seems too weird and out there, always go directly to the site. So if Amazon sends you an email and says, hey, your Amazon credit card is expired, please update your card immediately or you're going to lose access, click this link, and then they're trying to steal your information. Don't click the link. Go to Amazon.com in the browser, check your cards there, and then verify what was.
Or what I do is I open up my app.
Yeah, your app on your phone or however you access it normally properly.
Just
go
do it
there
that
directly.
way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with an eclipse, there's the totality. So that's obviously the peak of the eclipse. It's very stunning and it's also brief. Well, that's kind of like the time you actually click on the link. You click the link and you're like, oh no, I clicked the link and something starts running. You try to exit out real quick and it's too late. It's already kind of happened and started spreading. So that's kind of like the short little totality part. You want to make sure that during that time, if you do accidentally click the link, something happens that you're trained and you know who to escalate to, whether it's your local IT, whether you're calling DS Tech if we're your client. There should be a process in place where they know who to contact, and then we can remedy it quickly, by isolating, resetting the accounts, checking to make sure nothing was actually malicious, all that kind of stuff. So we have ways to help that if you're a client of ours. Otherwise, with your business, make sure you have some sort of incident plan in place when someone does something that they can follow it and report those events. And then the aftermath. So this calls dispersion. So after totality, the light begins to return, but the danger isn't over until the eclipse completely ends. Similarly, the aftermath of a phishing attack can be long-lasting, affecting individuals and organizations long after the breach. So it's the same thing. If you click the link and you didn't report it, it can potentially spread and cause additional issues. So it's always good to report that stuff immediately and to get it taken care of and take the proactive measures to secure the accounts. So
the aftermath too is part of the plan.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Part of the
it's kind
recovery
of the recovery plan. Yep. So you usually have a plan, pre-eclipse, during the totality, and post, you should have a plan for each kind of section for those. Before the eclipse, everyone should be vigilant looking at that kind of stuff. And so we're going to go into predicting eclipses and phishing attacks. So obviously astronomers can predict these eclipses for centuries in advance using different tools. So similarly, we can kind of predict this with, like, for example, holidays. We know we're going to get a ton of, bogus, your stuff is late being shipped, notifications.
For Christmas.
That kind of stuff. Exactly. Tax season, you're going to get a bunch of fake W-2 tax, phishing scams. So just think of the season that you're in and you realize that the attackers are going to be targeting you with fake messages based on the season. So it can be kind of used as a predictor and kind of help you stay
I wonder
vigilant.
if any of them are using the Eclipse.
There probably were. They're probably like, click this link to watch the Eclipse live, and it was,
probably
something. I'm not sure.
I've seen them do that with sporting events too, where they say,
yeah.
"Oh, here, watch this."
Yeah, like the Super Bowl's coming up. You're going to see Super Bowl phishing stuff, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They use active events, whether it's weather, seasonal, political, whatever. They take some sort of an active event and they will send phishing messages targeting based on what's buzzing around right now. So just kind of think about that when something's happening. Just be vigilant. A big one that was kind of, I actually thought it was kind of scummy, was during all the lockdowns and stuff. People were sending fake emails on behalf of the CDC and all this other stuff to all the doctors' offices. It was a huge one we saw in healthcare.
Yeah.
And so it just, whatever's happening in the real world, attackers will use that to try to take advantage of it. So just kind of be vigilant of that, and it'll help you predict and look out for those messages.
Yep.
Talking about different safety measures, so obviously you have viewing glasses needed to obviously look at a solar eclipse so you don't burn your eyes out. Similarly, if you have the knowledge and the tools, you can protect yourself from phishing. So you might have software that's scanning emails as they come in to kind of look with those glasses and look at things that you can't see, to try to filter out a lot of the junk. And then also having your staff be trained on what to look for in the emails and to be kind of skeptical about clicking things is also a good predictor.
That would be the phishing training.
Yeah, that'd be fish training. Yep, which is I still think that's one of the biggest things you can do as a company is to send fake messages on purpose to your staff, and then
it's annoying.
But
it sure does teach you.
It's the biggest thing. Yeah, that can really help. With
like,
that.
oh man, I gotta watch the video again because I clicked it.
Yes, exactly. You'll learn real quick that you don't want to click the video or click the links to have to watch the videos again. And obviously, we're all human, right? You get embarrassed. You're like, no, I got to tell my boss I clicked the link and all this stuff. I totally get it. I've clicked links too, but we all been there.
Have.
And that's how you learn. And it's better to do that than to click a truly malicious link and then deal with the ramifications.
Yes.
So your viewing glasses are kind of like awareness and education. Then you got pinhole projectors, which are kind of like phishing filters. So that's when it talks about how using indirect viewing methods like a pinhole projector to safely observe the eclipse are like, there's email filters, antivirus filters. I already talked this earlier with the viewing glasses, but similarly, you have software, again, that's just constantly scanning your stuff as it's coming in, whether it's M365, Gmail, etc. You should have some sort of spam filtering that'll help look through some of the majority of the messages for you, and then it's up to the human at the end of the day to make the judgment call whether to click what's left. That's why the security awareness training is still the biggest thing, because we can't patch humans yet, right? There's no upgrade you can do that'll just make all your staff be vigilant and learn everything, right? So we got to constantly.
They have to learn. Yep. They have to learn.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So conclusion is the path of totality across the globe. So just as the path of the eclipse can cross continents and oceans, making it the impact felt worldwide, phishing is a global issue that affects millions across the globe. Obviously, there's a universal need for vigilance, education, and proactive measures to safeguard this ever-persistent threat. And again, phishing's ever-evolving, especially with AI tools. They're getting better at it. They're not making as many spelling mistakes as they used to, all that kind of stuff. They're making the emails look
and they
exactly.
don't sound so, like broken English type of, anymore.
Exactly, because they're using tools to make it better. So just everyone needs to be proactive.
Or whatever language. Yeah.
So, So I guess, it says call to action the next eclipse. So obviously, I would encourage you to prepare for your next eclipse or, phishing attack. So obviously, just be aware of it. If you don't have some sort of phish training in your company, I would, advise getting some, whether you go through us or someone else, it doesn't even matter. It just having that for your company is the number one biggest thing that can protect your company. So I just like to see companies protected and take these proactive measures, especially we're getting more and more connected. You're hearing more of these attacks every day. And I hate to sell with the scare of FUD, but it's just the reality of the world that we live in. And I'd rather just be able to make sure everyone's protected and has the tools they need to stay safe. So
as much as possible. And that's what we're here for.
Yep. So, and if you've seen some of our other episodes, like the AT&T breach and things like that, it doesn't matter the size of your company, it can happen to you. And I'll leave with this one thing too, is a lot of times when we talk to small businesses, they're like, I have like 15 staff and 5 computers. Are they going to really bother with me? Well, I use the analogy too, is that thieves, unfortunately, usually don't go right for bank robbery. Usually they start small. They might steal from a convenience store. They might break into someone's car. Then they'll try someone's house, and then they'll work up to the bank, right? So the hackers are doing the same thing. They're starting on small targets to basically practice their skills before they go to the big boys. So just keep that in mind as a small business. Just because you think you're too small to be noticed, hackers don't care. They just see numbers and they'll try it no matter what. So I encourage any business of any size to take the
they
stuff
see a hole,
seriously.
they're in.
Exactly.
That's what they see. They don't. It doesn't matter where you're at.
For sure.
So for sure, that's cool. Go to dstech.net and sign up for your free security assessment for your business, and sign up for our newsletter. That's open to everybody that wants to hear the latest in productivity or news in hacks and stuff like that. So yeah. And whatever tools are out there too, because we share. Last newsletter was all about AI because,
how to write AI queries is going to be a huge thing. Back in the day, you used to have to figure like, how do I search to get what I want to find? Now it's how do I phrase this to an AI to get the answer I want? And that's going to be a whole skill in itself that people are practicing with, and it's always going to evolve.
Because Copilot was the biggest thing. We had a webinar about it and stuff like that. It was really interesting. Anyway, we'll see you out there. Go to our website, sign up for all that stuff, and we'll see you next time.